All right, guys, since we have talked about slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines, we're going to move into equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. So the do now, you had a couple of problems on the Nearpod. What's the slope of a line parallel to this one? Remember, we're only at this point looking at slope, so just this number. Our parallel lines, their slope is the same. So a slope parallel of a line parallel to this one will be the same of -3/4. The next one was the slope of a line perpendicular to y equals 4x minus 1. We're just looking at this 4. Remember, slopes of perpendicular lines are the negative reciprocals. So we have 4/1. Negative reciprocals means since this is positive, our next one's going to be negative. We flip our fraction. That's a reciprocal. So our new slope of the perpendicular line is going to be -1/4. All right, after this, you'll be able to determine an equation of a line parallel and perpendicular. The expectations, again, are while you're watching this video, you are taking notes. There's no talking unless it is to people in your group to clarify something said in the video. Use your time wisely and ask questions as they come up. These are the start officially of your notes. You need to write this down. You need to write this down. We know that the slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. Our point-slope form, we might not remember. It's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. M is still the slope, and our x1, y1 is a point on the line. We are going to use this form and translate it into the slope-intercept form. So let's look at what our problems are going to be asking us to do and the ways we need to do that. Put these two examples in your notebook. So this says, write an equation of a line perpendicular to one that has the slope equals 9 and it passes through 7, -5. So our slope, remember, perpendicular, negative reciprocal. This is positive, this one's going to be negative. Flip our fractions. This is 1/9. Our point is 7, -5. Point slope form is y minus our y1. This is our point, so this is y1, this is x1. So minus a -5 equals our slope of -1/9 times x minus 7. Okay, we are taking our point slope form and putting it into the slope-intercept form. So on this side, y minus a -5 is y plus a 5 equals. Remember, when we have a number outside of our expression here, we are distributing this number to each part. So -1/9 times x gives us -1/9x. -1/9 times -7 gives us a positive 7/9. We can leave this as a fraction. I'm okay with you changing it to a decimal. However, on your test, you're probably going to be seeing some fractions, so get familiar with them. We're not there yet. Remember, our slope-intercept form, our y is by itself, and everything else is on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 5 here and subtract 5 here. So what am I left with here? Y equals, remember, you can only subtract or add or multiply or you can only subtract or add from this x if it has an x. Since it doesn't, we are just subtracting from our number. So we are left with -1/9x minus 7 over 9. Oops. 7 over 9 minus 5. In fraction form, that gives us a negative 4 and 2 ninths. So this may be what you see on your test. You might also see the fraction as 38 over 9. These are the same thing. So here is our final answer. So our final answer, y equals negative 1/9 x minus 4 and 2 ninths. Let me know if you have questions on that. And let's move on to one that is parallel. So write an equation of a line parallel to this line. If y equals x minus 2, we need a line parallel that passes through this point. So remember our parallel slopes, they are the same. And when we do not have a number out here, it's an imaginary 1. So our slope is 1, our point is 3, negative 1, and our point slope, y minus negative 1 equals 1, which is m, x minus 3. All right, let's put this into slope-intercept. Remember, y minus the negative 1 is y plus 1. If we distribute x, 1 times x is just x. 1 times our negative 3 is negative 3. We're not done. We've got to get y by itself, subtract 1 on this side, subtract 1 on this side. So our final answer is y equals x minus 4. These are the two types of problems you'll see. We're still working with parallel and perpendicular lines, and it's going to walk you through these steps where you're entering in what your new slope's going to be, your point, and then point slope down to slope intercept. Let me know when you have questions.